Hello all, welcome to Time to Dice, throws a bunch of stuff at the wall, and sees what sticks. This time, we're talking about spells. Specifically, the new spells released in the Draconic Codex that just came out. And for some reason, this guy is here too.
Hi, I'm the guy that voiced that Beast Boy episode by random once. So what better way to talk about spells on YouTube than creating a tier list? So today we're going to look at each of these spells and go over their effectiveness, their versatility, creativity, and coolness factor for each of them.
It's important to know that throughout all of this, if you disagree with what we have to say here, that's because you are objectively wrong and we are correct. So you should probably adjust your standards to fit what we think.
Yes, all further opinions given are to be taken as fact.
So I think it's important that we kind of establish credentials. I do a lot of work for Pathfinder. Basically spend all of my free time going over mechanics, spells, and feats to see how things work and how to put them together in strange ways. So I'm a little bit more in the weeds with this kind of stuff, whereas
I'm just a player. Hi. I'm Cameron. I've been a player since middle school and am not as in the weeds as Mr. DM here. Um, but I do a lot of the background work and discussion for a lot of these videos, and I've been playing for lots of the time. But I'm more of a creative and like feel of the spells is like where I'm going to be coming from.
so. With that out of the way, let's get into the actual interesting part of the build, the spells. There might be a cinematic here that goes, the spells. But if not,
Maybe
it's just going to be me describing the cinematic here.
just talking about the cinematics. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be real important, real cool. The coolest thing you've ever seen. So the first spell on our list is Armor of Thorn and Claw. And this spell is basically you coat yourself in sharp scales that do damage to those who try to attack you, grab you, or eat you. You have opinions on this one?
So
This is a fun one to start with.
thematically, so okay, I say we kind of stick to a similar order. Like let's talk
Okay.
about how effective it is.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as like how much it's accomplishing what it says it is, I hate ones. I hate the number one.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like it's cool, it's like it's fun to like imagine just being covered in nails and spikes, but it's just like, oh no, what am I gonna do? Grabs them and it does less damage than a cat scratching you,
Right. Like
you
I
know?
I think you get a lot of characters in fiction who kind of have this aspect to them, whether it be like Kirishima or like the person from X-Men who's covered in
Yeah,
thorns.
like the spike, that's the first guy I thought of was the spiky guy.
But this does not accomplish what it sets out to. There is never a world where it's like, oh, let me attack this person. Oh no, I might take 1 point of damage. That's
Yeah.
going to persuade me. Like, that 1 point of damage can be amplified through weaknesses, and it is free damage, so like you don't have to um, set up a lot for it. But like, so it might be useful in like my max spell rank things, where like if you set it up before the thing starts, and then that's just added on damage. But it's not enough to make a difference.
But
And
also, as far as what's it saying it's accomplishing, it's only whenever someone is coming after you.
mhm,
If I'm covered in spikes and I give you a hug, you should be taking damage.
agreed.
So
Uh,
it just doesn't make a lot of sense
mhm,
like that if I'm punching you, if I'm grabbing you, that you're not also taking some of that damage, even if it's just the one. It feels like the spikes are being ignored for half of what's happening,
and it
you
does not
know?
heighten well, only heightening every 2 spell ranks. And the worst part, at least to me, is as a spellcaster, you can't cast this on your marshal, the one that you want to be getting hit. You have to cast it on yourself. Like, I could see this having some kind of use case if you could cast it on your guardian who is already taking a bunch of hits, right? And just getting a little bit more value from that. But as a spellcaster who does not want to be getting hit, you do not want to be wasting your spell slots on this. It's just not viable.
Yeah, and also it would also be a lot more helpful if it gave some sort of negative to being grappled or swallowed other
Hmm.
than a little bit of damage, but it doesn't actually make it any easier for you to get out of those situations.
Right.
Like in like because it's like pain doesn't really like matter in like the mechanics of the game.
Hmm.
So if a monster's swallowing you, it taking a D4 of damage is no different than you kicking a little bit on the way down.
Right.
Like so
And
it doesn't have any like it's not going to ward off any of these things coming, at least as far as I would guess.
no, I cannot see a reason where, as a GM, I would consider this spell after it had been cast.
Yeah, and like I guess that kind of goes in, I guess that kind of bleeds into versatility a little bit of like how often would you see casting this spell? How many situations will this save the day or be like a fun way to solve a problem? Like I could see it giving you a like it's not even mechanically written here,
Hmm.
but like I could see it being a fun intimidation thing, like to
Right.
walk in the room and just be covered in spikes. But then like they go and like you hug someone and like, oh wait, it doesn't even hurt. You're not that scary.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a second, as you just keep hugging them. Why doesn't this work? Oh, it's not written that way.
Right. Yeah, like, and it's already a just in combat spell, which I kind of knocks it down for a bit for me because there's no real way to creatively apply this.
Yeah, it's like as far as like it's solving other problems or being used in a creative way, like it's really fun flavor, but like just the actual mechanics of how it works limits it so much. Because like I feel like if you're covered in spikes, you should be doing that a little bit of extra damage with you doing it. Also, just the fact that it's only like on unarmed attacks, it ain't helping you if someone has any kind of weapon.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're combating a person other than a monk, like it's just not going to be able to come up that
I
often.
did not even realize that. That did not
Yeah, it
cross
has
my
to be.
mind. And it's just so bad.
Yeah,
It's
because it's
such a
like
way
if
to start the video. This spell is so bad.
yeah, like I would love for it. There's if the description was about another four paragraphs
Uh huh.
of all the things it could do,
Hmm.
it could be really fun.
Hmm.
Like, and I wish that there was like a much stronger version of this, but yeah, unless you're fighting animals or a monk,
Yeah.
it's just anything with ranged attacks, anything that has a weapon,
Uh,
it's just not going to come up. And if you have limited spell slots, it
right.
just doesn't seem like it's gonna be winning out over much other else, in my opinion.
To try to steel man it a little bit, I think the persistent damage is fine at lower levels. I think it's a rank 1 spell, so right out of the gate, but at the point where the damage is fine, it's not worth giving up your only spell slots for.
Hmm.
All right. So final ranking.
Oh God, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would I give it? I feel like I'm starting off really aggressively. Okay,
I can
on
go first if
three,
you'd like.
I say we just say the number on three.
Okay.
3, 2, 1,
2.
2.
Fair enough. I think the fact that there is like a world where I could see myself wanting to play a spiky man, like that keeps it from being a completely one, and that's all I can say for it, really.
Yeah, because it sounds cool. Like the cool factor is there, like, but just like in appearance and in description.
Yeah, no, it's just
Like there's it just given the way the spell is played out or like described, it's just so hard to imagine it being like a big reveal or like a super like you made me
haha,
pull
I
my
can do
spikes out.
1 damage.
Yeah.
All right, our next spell is Blood Feasting Breath. Basically, you shoot out a 30-foot cone and do 5d6 void damage, and then another 30-foot cone heals everybody in the area. You got opinions?
So it only heals equal to the greatest damage a single creature in the first cone took.
Right.
Just to clarify.
Yeah.
Um, this one sounds really fun.
I like it.
I really like this one
5d6
because
is
like
the basic like damage plus effect, and I think it's really fun. I think it's Divine and Occult, which are two spell lists that do not get a lot of damage stuff. Um,
mhm.
but just the ability to like essentially drain. I can reflavor this like a vampire type character, and unlike like vampiric touch where you're doing all that healing for yourself, you can shoot out the healing to others. Does it heal yourself at all? I forget. You and all living
You
creatures
have
in
to
this
be-
cone. Yeah,
oh,
so
you can. Oh, wow.
yeah, it
Well, also, you just never hear about like healing and damaging in the same spell.
right.
Like I can't think of another example of that. Like
Mm-hmm.
as far as feeling like different than other spells,
Mm-hmm.
I love that idea.
Yeah. Well, I know vampiric touch is the kind of your quintessential like example of that, but it's only healing yourself. I
Yeah.
This is
Like
really good. Now to kind of like rein it in a little bit, 3 actions is rough. That's your entire turn.
mhm.
So that's not the greatest.
Well, I
uh,
mean, it really is though, because imagine if you used one action, something was in range,
mm,
and you hit it, and then use a two action spell to heal. Like you're
right.
accomplishing the same thing.
Except you're hitting
Um,
everything in 30 feet, 2 30 feet cones. Like that's
yeah, it
it's.
feels like as far as effectiveness, it's crazy good.
And I
As
think
far like I can tell.
it is far better when dealing with swarms and minions, where you can just like count on at least one of them to critically fail. Because I think as far as healing goes, it's not. I mean, you can out heal easier than this, right? But
Yeah.
the value of just being able to do both at once is just too good for me to pass up.
Yeah, I will say a note on it like not being just perfect
Mm-hmm.
is that it's all living creatures. So
Mm-hmm.
that means if you're in the thick of it
Oh
and
yeah.
all of your people are intermixed with good and bad guys, it's not like you're always going to have a perfect scenario where the good guys are lined up right here and the bad guys are lined
Oh,
up right there.
that's a good point because
So
you can't. You might be
unless
damaging your allies and then healing your. Yeah, because I think it's actually now that you mentioned that it's very rare that you're going to get a 30 foot cone of bad guys and a 30 foot cone of good guys. You're
yeah,
probably going to be doing a little bit of friendly fire or healing the enemy.
but honestly, as far as like fun, that's kind of fun. Like it
Yeah.
makes you really have to think about it.
uh, I,
Like is it worth healing that goblin to
mhm.
damage the four good guys and heal the guys next to that goblin?
Yeah, I mean, I think it does take a little bit off of like how universally you can use it, but I not enough to damage it too much in my opinion.
Yeah. So it's like effectiveness. It sounds super effective
Yeah.
as far as like action economy in comparison to other spells.
Uh
As
Well,
far as
maybe not
first,
action economy just because 3 actions, but yeah, like for your
I'd say
spell.
comparable to other ways you could use those three actions. For it's accomplishing healing and damage to multiple creatures and multiple good guys.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things because it can do friendly fire and it takes 3 actions, so you can't reposition to try to get your cones to line up a little bit better. You kind of just have to be in the perfect situation from the get go. But
Hmm.
I once again that is very small marks against it in my head. Uh,
Yeah.
I think it's just really fun.
Versatility. There's never a single instance where I couldn't see this coming up in combat.
Yeah, and if
Like
you're
if
a
there's a
cleric
good
who's
guy
just
and a
like
bad guy,
yeah, and if you're just a cleric who's just like, oh, my party expects me to heal all the time, you can use this and you can like feel that contribution to the fight as well as just picking up down to party members.
yeah. And I feel like as far as like coolness and like fun as far as that's going, like you just said, that's really big is that you can be a healer but still feel like you're contributing something other than just being a healer jockey, you
Yeah,
know?
no, I fully agree. Mhm. So, what's your final verdict? You gonna do 3, 2, 1, or
Let me think for a second because I got to take a little bit off for creativity. I really like being able to use spells creatively in
mm,
unexpected ways and
in
like
ways they're not
super
really
flexible
intended to be
spells.
used?
Yeah. So I got to take a little off for that, but I think I got my number.
Okay,
3, 2, 1,
8.
8.
Okay, well, this is
We're supposed to disagree a little bit and average out.
yeah. Well, It's just leading more into the fact that we are objectively right, and this is the objective number for the spell.
Yeah, yeah, because we never disagree.
Okay, so channel arrogance.
This is the mother-in-law spell. As far
What?
the second I read this one, all I could think of is this is the mother-in-law spell.
Uh huh.
Because it's channeling your heightened sense of self-worth into a creature, forcing them to acknowledge your true worth, and it does mental damage.
No, you're right.
And if you fail, you are forced to acknowledge how right they always were. But you can explain what the spell does a little bit better.
Yeah. So it's essentially, I don't see how I can explain it any better. You got it right. Do mental damage, and then if they fail, they are fascinated, and if they they critically fail? They no. If they fail, they have to roll a DC 5 flat check on any spells they cast.
Yeah.
And the fascinated is even on a success. Fascinated is already not a super good condition. You're, as a spellcaster, you usually do not want to be drawing fire.
And I asked about this earlier. So when you're fascinated, you're still allowed to cast spells on the person. You're still allowed to attack. You're still allowed to flee. Like,
Yeah.
what does it prevent you from doing?
Using a concentrate action like recall knowledge or seeking on someone else. So it's fascinated is, I think, one of the worst conditions. But the reason you would want it on your opponents is like if your allies are all trying to sneak away, you fascinate them on you so that they can't try to find your allies. It's really good for a you guys run, I'll make a last stand. But other than that, no, it's just not typically the best for things where like both sides are going at each other.
Yeah, and then it has the chance of causing a spell to fail or an action with an auditory trait to fail, but
Which
only
I
on a
will say
DC
for that, like I think I understand why Paizo did it, the flat check over the mischance or fail check, because it simplifies the game a little bit. But DC 5 flat check sounds so much worse than 25% chance to lose their spell, you know? Or 20% chance to lose their spell. Which is really good on spellcasters. Now, admittedly, though, even with that, the damage is alright. So this is a 1 or 3 action spell, which is, I think, the first one that has done it like that. You can't spend 2 actions to cast it.
So explain the big difference between 1 action versus 3 actions.
So 1 action, it does the same thing, but on 1 action, all creatures treat their degree of success as 1 better. So you can't critically fail it, and a fail goes up to a success. Which almost to me makes... I really like the value on 1 action spells, especially on spellcasters who usually end up using 2 actions and then wonder what to do with their 3rd action. But for this, it's... if they're always treating their degree as 1 success better, you're not going to be... like, this does not seem to got like the type of thing that you use on lots of guys, right? Who would be failing. And if they're treating their degree of success as 1 better, then they're usually going to be succeeding, and then that will bump it up to critical success, where you've just wasted a spell slot. And now you've gone through 2 spell slots in 1 turn, rather than 1.
Yeah, and you're only targeting 1 creature. I think that really takes away from it. It targets just 1. Like, you're screaming the, like, look at me and acknowledge me and everything, but it's only to the 1 creature.
Now, there is a much higher level spell that kind of does it to everything in the area. But for a 4th rank spell, this doesn't seem to have the guaranteed benefits that a lot of other spells would do. I think it's flavorful, but I think it... to me, it's not a, like... it doesn't evoke anything to me. I know it evoked the mother-in-law to you, but to me it just did not really... I've never seen a character who comes up to me and is like, this is the kind of thing that I want my character to be able to do, and I would suggest this.
I feel like it's almost an NPC spell.
Yeah, kind of.
In my head, when I read it, this doesn't feel like something that I would imagine a lot of people like would want their character to be doing, but
Mm,
any arrogant bad
boss.
guy, any dragon, any mother-in-law in the
You
game,
think this would be
you
good on
know,
a dragon? You say?
well, yeah, maybe, but a draconic mother-in-law. Um, I could see it sounds like a NPC spell. It sounds like something the bad guy would use,
Uh huh.
which I know people can play bad characters or play arrogant characters
Right.
or this could make sense with people, but like it feels like something someone you're fighting would use.
Let me make this case for you. This could be easily reflavored. I think is hockey from One Piece, where it's like you are just a big enough threat to people, and like so you can just essentially knock out the lower ranked people with just kind of a single action, a throwaway, as you're charging towards the big guy, and then it kind of like affects big guys, but because for me, three actions is really hard to contribute towards anything, right?
Hmm.
Because if this was one or two actions, it would be so much better for me. I don't like that one action treats all successes as critical successes, but I never like it's so much commitment for a three action spell. I just
One creature that again, like I can almost see where we're going with saying it's like hockey,
mhm.
but it only
But
targets
hockey
one
wipes out
creature.
fields.
If this was a 30-foot area, it
Hmm.
would make so much more sense because even your logic of saying like, oh, you're forcing the attention on you as the other guys get away, you're forcing one person's attention on you, kind of. Mhm. And as far as like creative functionality, like in a way to use the spell in an unexpected way, like
Hmm. I don't know. I
I
give it a
don't.
little bit of creative aspect because I still think that that scene in my head where the rest of your party is running away from the big dragon and you use this on the dragon, essentially a self-sacrifice play. I think that's cool, but
Mhm.
I it's not a lot of not a lot.
Yeah, yeah. But the second there's two bad guys, that doesn't work.
Yeah,
Like there are like that's
yeah, no,
and you could do that even without an ability. Anyone can run off to the side and like say something to
uh huh,
demand the dragon's attention,
right.
insult it, antagonize them. Like you don't even have to have abilities to accomplish that
And I guess even
theoretically.
if you're fascinated, once again, they can still attack your allies. They can still do area
Fireball.
of effect and just happen to get you in it. Like it's not.
Yeah. It just doesn't feel like it's a day saver.
Mhm.
It just feels like a one-off thing that an NPC would use.
Yeah, it feels like it's. I could. It's not like Armor of Claw and Thorn where it's like I don't bother wasting, but I think if you put this on your spell list, you are waiting for the opportune moment to use it rather than those moments are going to present themselves all the time.
Yeah,
Which
and I just
for smaller casters, or like characters with a smaller spell list, like that's really hard to justify.
yeah, and like I wouldn't have a lot of ways that I'd be like, "Oh, this I can twist this or use this in
Hmm.
interesting ways to solve problems." I just wouldn't give it many marks for that. And cool factor, I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Like the generic cool factor, like yeah,
Uh,
it's fun. It
right.
has like it definitely elicited, like a response from me just reading it, you know.
Yeah. Well, because that's the thing. Cause it's not just that you lose your spell on a failure. You actively have to praise the person you're trying to attack. That's funny.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's funny, and it would be great for like like a bad guy in the story, like
Hmm.
someone to use on a character who
Hmm.
is like rebellious and force them to be, you know,
It screams
act the
anime
way.
logic, but
Yeah,
yeah,
so it's like I give it fun marks and cool factor, but it just lacks in effectiveness, versatility, and creative application.
right. All right.
Okay,
So final ranking.
I got my number
Okay.
3, 2, 1,
Five.
4.
Okay. Well, that's probably fair. All right. Next up is Cloud Current, and you have told me that you were excited about this one.
Yeah, so I'm excited about this one, but I also have a lot of questions from
Okay.
not being the DM. You see, this spell essentially says you're summoning a giant cloud in the shape of a dragon
Hmm.
that travels, and again, a giant cloud as in it's 30 feet wide, 30 feet tall, and up to 10 miles long. And everything within it has increased speed.
Hmm.
So It sounds dull. Like all it is like this whole spell boils down to flying creatures get increased speed.
Uh huh.
But my mind is just racing with how could I use this in an unintended way?
Uh huh.
As far as like effectiveness, versatility, creativity, like I don't know. But creativity, I just want to know what happens if a dragon is flying down towards me and I cast this above it and just say, go down a lot faster.
Yeah, but the
Because it
problem
says that
is it's only a travel spell because the cast time is 1 minute.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Ah,
No, like
because
I like the idea of speeding up things like in a certain direction, or like because I was reading this thinking, man, this is really cool, but then realized like it's just for out of combat purposes. It's just to get to the next town faster.
yeah, if it was an instant cast, I thought it would have been really fun that if something was flying down towards you to cast it and then have the clouds like because it
Yeah,
said it
but
can at heightened eighth, it
uh,
travel speed is quadrupled. I know physics doesn't really work
right,
in like game, but rule of cool would have been kind of funny if something bad is flying towards you and
and
you
you just speed
quadruple
it
its
up.
speed and it just bulldozes into the ground because of it.
Yeah, no,
I thought that
that's
would have been fun.
really cool. It's just not what it does.
Dang it.
Yeah.
I really should look at that casting time. Um, can you see through a cloud? Like, because it says it starts off 100 feet above ground, but is there any reason you can't lower it to ground level and just have 10 miles of cloud covering a town?
Well, no, I mean,
The
there's
current
not.
travels in a direction of your choice.
Yeah, no, I mean, it could just be a cloud that covers the area, but at that point, you're essentially spending a minute to cast obscuring mist.
But 10-mile obscuring mist.
That's, I guess you could do that.
Like in my head again, like it's a travel spell. It's
Right.
nothing flashy, but like I'm trying to think of ways you could just annoy it. Like imagine like the king of the town has made you mad
Uh
and every hour you're just covering the town
huh.
in a cloud, just annoying them.
that,
Like imagine every time the king opens his window, you just send a cloud dragon in that window.
okay, that's funny. It doesn't say the spell, but it's funny.
I feel like I would only use the spell for unintended purposes.
Yeah, like the thing is, like it does what it sets out to do, but like what it sets out to do is so lackluster, and I understand like you have to build the spells to work in the system they are intended to work in, but so many GMs run exploration and just kind of hand wave it away. Like, oh, you just get to the next town, or maybe we'll
Yeah.
roll some random encounter tables and see if there's anything. But like, I don't see this making that much of a difference, especially because like in 3 more spell ranks, you'll get teleport, and that just cuts teleporting time away. And what it doubles your speed. GMs run exploration and just kind of hand wave it away. Like, oh, you just get to the next town, or maybe we'll
Yeah.
roll some random encounter tables and see if there's anything. But like, I don't see this making that much of a difference, especially because like in 3 more spell ranks, you'll get teleport, and that just cuts teleporting time away. And what it doubles your speed, like if
So,
it doubles your speed until 8th rank where it quadruples it. But at that
yeah.
point, like the tailwind spell gives you like a plus 10 foot bonus to speed. If your speed is 25 feet where most player characters are, you're not you're not accomplishing much. That
Wait, so what happens if you go against it? So let's say like the cloud is going against
it
you.
doesn't say anything happens.
It does not hinder you at all?
No, I feel like it.
I feel like
Well,
it should hinder you.
yes, but when you are looking at for 10-mile radius, like a 10-mile long stretch, you don't want to like if you're doing it on the open road, you don't want everyone coming the opposite way to just be like screwed. You're
Yeah.
just the
Because I was
world's
also
worst
thinking like
merchant.
I was thinking maybe if the dragon's coming into town, like, and you're trying to stall,
Hmm.
maybe you could send the cloud, but it's only 30 feet tall, 30 feet wide. The
Yeah,
dragon goes, excuse me, keeps going.
yeah, no, like it's.
Yeah,
I don't think it does much. I wish
no,
it did,
I tried. I'm trying so hard to make it fun
and
and
I
interesting.
understand that. Like to me, I think if you used like a spell like more I wish this was a combat spell that you could like set up a tailwind or something, and people in that direction just can go faster, like opposite difficult terrain. I think that would be
Hmm.
fun. I don't know if it would get a
Yeah.
lot of use. I don't, but I think it'd at least be fun, and I don't think this is fun.
Mhm. Yeah. No, in my head, like it's honestly not a never would never pick for me,
Hmm.
just because I like the idea of just covering a town
The
in a cloud
flavor,
would be annoying.
yeah,
The flavor, like I feel like you could annoy people with this. Like, and I kind of enjoy that.
that's fair. I am thoroughly unimpressed.
I am thoroughly unimpressed at effectiveness, versatility, but cool factor and creativity, it gets mid marks.
Okay, so what's your final result?
Three, two, one,
Two.
five.
Oh, dang.
Really?
I don't like it. I really don't like it. The problem is, to a certain degree, the spell does what it says it does, right? So anything extra is just what the GM is willing to give you. And I do think those are like reasonable asks as a GM, that it doesn't do much. It just kind of like makes clouds, but like you can just kind of say it very much leaves open for a GM to be like, no, it's magic cloud. You can see through it fine, and like you got to do what the spell says it does, and it doesn't say it does
Mm.
much.
Given the context of a more of aggressive, very literal, more literal setting with less flexibility, I give it a four.
Yeah.
I just know how much you've let me and other players get away
Well, I've let
with.
you get away with too much.
Oh yeah. So in your setting, it'd be a five. I'd imagine in a more realistic setting, it'd be a four. So we'll average it out to a three.
Fair enough. All right, Divine Dragon's Watch. Cast time 10 minutes. So basically, you summon a dragon to protect your ally, and for the next 24 hours, if that ally would go down to 0 hit points, it goes down to 1 hit point instead, and you do some basic retaliation damage.
So I can't help but think of Pokemon with this one. This is literally the like um, Rattata thing where it's like the Pokemon goes down to 1 hit point but doesn't die for whatever reason, and then uses Endeavor and just does damage back.
The Fear Rattata,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, the Fear Rattata.
Yeah, I mean, I
Now
guess, but
that's super relevant to the spell. I just with your character build, that's where my head went. Is like, haha, Pokemon.
I'll put this on my Rattata build if I ever make one.
Yeah, you have to with your coming up soon, Rattata.
The problem is that it only does 5d4 spirit damage. So rather than like a quick attack, or like rather than Endeavor, it's like you're barely doing any damage.
Yeah, I don't think the damage is what the purpose
No,
of
no, no,
this
no.
is.
That is only to detract from your comparison. I
Oh,
think the spell's good.
thank
I one thing I really like about it is, so it's essentially Orc's Ferocity, but with a follow up blow, right? Where you just
you.
drop to
Mhm.
1 hit point. But the target that you use it on doesn't gain the reaction. It's still your reaction. So if you have an Orc Ferocity Guardian, and I'm using Guardian a lot in this for these spells, I don't know why, but like who's taking the blows and then they go to 0 hit points, but Orc's Ferocity keeps them up, and they get knocked down again, you can use this to get them up again and make a retaliation strike. Like it's really
Mhm.
cool for just like you can squeeze out a little bit more things by
Mhm.
you getting the reaction rather than them. And I think spellcasters end up getting less reactions than a lot of martial characters anyways, so
Mhm.
I like that.
Is there any reason you could not cast this multiple times other than limited spell slots?
Only limited spell slots. I do
Yeah.
say this is one of those spells that gets better, I think, later on, so I would not pick this up as my highest ranking spell slot,
Really?
because I would still want to use those for like heals and stuff to prevent people from getting low anyways, right?
Hmm.
um there are things.
But boss fight, like if you're going into the big bad or the boss fight where things are doing crazy amounts of damage,
Mhm.
this could be a lifesaver.
No, I agree. Like I think it's really good. I just think it gets way better when you are level 17. You have your ninth rank spells. At that point, your fifth rank spells are specifically, at least in my opinion, for spells like this that aren't going to make
Hmm.
huge make or break moments on the battlefield if they're cast
Hmm.
during the battlefield, right?
Hmm.
Because this is one of those,
Well,
like, it has a heightened effect. It does a little bit more damage, but to me the damage is such a little aspect of it. Like I
Yeah.
think just the ability to keep standing is really
Hmm.
really good.
Well,
Um,
also as far as effectiveness goes, this isn't something you're casting during a fight.
right.
This is something you get to do in prep, and I
So it's
feel
free.
like I haven't seen a lot of prep spells.
Hmm.
Like at least in like our games, like there's not a whole lot of things you can do to cast a spell like the
Hmm.
beginning of the day that's going to be helpful all day long.
Or at least if there is preparatory spells, they are specific. Like, oh, I know I'm fighting a um, fire elemental boss monster, right? Let me cast protection against fire, and you can cast that and have it go throughout all day.
Mhm.
But this is kind of universally good, so you can just kind of cast it on your party's tank every single day, and it still gives
Mhm.
value. I think it's really good. I like it.
As far as effectiveness goes, what happens if you're not near, like you're not within eyesight, earshot of the person when they're going to 0 hit points? It doesn't say they have to be within your range. It doesn't say within eyesight, within
No, it says
earshot, within.
trigger an enemy you can see
Oh, where does it say that?
for the trigger.
An enemy you can see. Ah, dang it.
Yeah.
I was hoping that it was something that you could just put on someone and not
Uh huh.
worry about it. Question: Does the would the character you cast a spell on, would they have? Is there anything that requires them to be aware you've cast it on them? Can
I
you
don't
secretively
suppose
get
so.
draconic protection?
Like if you could sneakily do it, I think you could. Why?
I don't know, just a fun flavor thing
Hmm.
of like I don't like this person in my party, but I'm gonna make sure they're okay.
Right. Yeah,
Like
that's
a thing where I could see you having a little bit of like a little bit of flavor, a little bit of
uh
creativity. Like you could cast it on someone and them not know it.
right.
As like a surprise, I was looking out for you, even though we're like begrudging frenemies or something.
Right. No,
Or if you're just like no one knows you have the spell, cast it on the bad guy.
all right. Sorry, little audio glitch there. I don't know what happened, but we're back. You were saying?
I was saying it could be funny if like someone doesn't know you have the spell and you somehow cast it on the bad guy of like, oh no, he got protected. Like, you know, you can have a
You're
little
trying to
fun with
betray the party.
casting. Yeah, betray the party.
Yeah, the problem is you'd have to be
Um,
able to spend 10 minutes with the bad guy beforehand. But no, I
yeah.
yeah, it's cool. I like it. Yeah, like I don't really have much more to say about it except it's cool. I like it.
Yeah,
uh,
effectiveness, it does exactly what you would say it would do.
mhm,
There's never a scenario where this wouldn't be helpful. Versatility, like again, you can cast it outside of combat.
right,
There's never a day you couldn't cast this spell, and like going to 0 hit points is a universal threat.
right.
And a little bit of damage ain't never gonna hurt.
Mhm,
Creativity, it's not the most creative spell in the world. Like the flavor,
mhm.
like the flavors there, the flavor's really fun. Cool
It's cool.
factor, really good cool factor. Um, I think I got my number.
I think so too. Three,
Three, two,
two,
one,
one, 8.
8.
We're in such agreement for these. That's so weird.
Yeah, well, we haven't had any that were like, I mean, again, the one we disagreed on the most was the one that I thought was practically useless, but I could think creatively with it,
Right.
given a lot of flexibility,
Uh
whereas you're
huh.
like, no, it's practically useless.
Uh huh.
Um, but yeah, no, I mean,
Fair enough.
fair enough.
I like it. It's cool. All right. Here's our first 10th rank spell on the list Dragon Turret. Um, Not much to say here. You summon a big tower that's guarded by a dragon and blast everything in the area.
This one feels so oddly specific. Like it's really cool, but it's just so specific for like a 10th ranked spell.
Yeah.
Like I want to know what 10th ranked spell wizard was like, you know what I need to solve all of my problems right now is a tower guarded by a dragon for 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. No,
It's giving very specific
it is
circumstances.
weird because like I could see this being one of those spells or rituals that like last for an indefinite amount of time and like bind a dragon to your tower. But this is a specifically in combat spell. Like you can 3 actions to cast it, and then just have a turret. And like its defenses are AC of 40, 30 to every saving throw, 250 hit points. That like it will stick around.
Yeah.
I there are some things that I don't like about it. As much as I think it is really, 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 really cool, I don't like three actions on anything. I think I've said that before. Um, and the fact that the area has to be a 50-foot tall cylinder, I don't think the tower adds anything to the spell, right?
That's what I don't understand. Because it says you can cast this within a range of 500 feet.
Mm-hmm.
If you're summoning a tower with a dragon guarding it,
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't that most likely just be on you? And like, if you're casting, like, I feel like there's a lot of description missing.
Yeah, because
Like, how sturdy's the tower?
well, I
You
think
know,
the
like,
the
how hard
tower
is
and
it
the
to?
dragons just share the same hit points. Um,
But like, but can you just walk into the tower? Is there a locked door that has to be picked?
yeah,
Is there just an open door at the bottom of it? Like,
yeah, it
I
says
don't
you.
understand like the specifics of the tower.
Because it says it has to be empty when you cast it, but you would to me, the coolest thing about having a tower guarded by a dragon is that you would be in the tower, presumably, right?
Hmm.
And that doesn't seem to be the case here. Or at the very least, you have to be like on the top of the tower.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know that part really, to be honest. I would rule that you could like very clearly you can be in the tower space, right? Um,
Yeah. But does the tower have a? So is it when it says tower? Is it
mhm.
literally just a cylinder around you, or is there like a staircase? Are you just immediately or at the top of this tower? Does your party come to the top of this tower if you're trying to protect a device? Like,
No, I mean I would roll it like you have to then like I would roll it that you and your party can enter the tower, right? Um, or the very least be able to stand on top of it, and then I think the flavor that they added unintentionally just kind of got in the way of the spell. So like now you have to have a 50-foot tall cylinder that is free. Like you couldn't use this in a cave, in a dungeon, inside anywhere. Like you're going to dethrone the king. Like unless you are outside, you just can't use it. I and for a 10th rank spell to be that restrictive, that's bad. This should be your main weapon. You bring it out in every fight. You know you're going to want to use your 10th rank stuff, and this is oddly specific.
so as far as like effectiveness, like in a scenario where it solves your problem, I imagine it's highly effective.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that I can say that is wrong for a 60-foot cone of damage every round, right?
Yeah.
The damage is a
Like, and
little
it's
bit
like,
less than what I would expect for a three action spell, but the fact that you can use it every single round means that it catches up pretty quickly.
yeah, and it's like if there is a scenario where you need to guard something and you can like move whatever needs to be protected into that cylinder if that's how that's working, like it could really solve your problem and be a very effective solution, especially if you're like just trying to hold out, like
Mm-hmm.
if you're in like some sort of like siege scenario,
Right,
um or you're just being bombarded by like mass numbers, like
right,
if it is a solution it's going to be highly effective.
right.
The
I just think,
problem comes in the versatility.
yeah, the problem is I think that area where it needs to be already empty really hurts the spell.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, it
I think
feels
I
like,
would be fine with that if it was a lower ranked spell. Like, if it was a sixth rank spell that you couldn't use all the time, but when it did, it showed up, that was great. That would be amazing. But for the fact that it's your 10th rank spell, probably one of the two 10th rank spells that you have in the game, for your one 10th rank spell slot, you want it to
mhm.
be able to be used more. You don't want so many things that could just shut it off.
Yeah, and like as far as like creativity, like there's no fudging how
Mm.
that works. Like
It's a tower
it's
with
a
a dragon.
tower
Well, I mean, I guess
with a
there's
dragon.
fudging based off of like whether or not your allies can enter the tower because it just doesn't say that.
Yeah. That's not even creativity.
Yeah, that's
That's
just like
like
how does the spell work? It should say that.
that's yeah, it's unclear like spell description in my opinion.
Hmm.
Which I guess with it being unclear, and if your DM is willing to work with you on that, like if you would tell me that this tower, it put us at the top of it with us and whatever item was already in that tower. Like
Right.
if we flavored it as the tower comes out of the ground, like
And you can like
library
ride
in the
up with it or
desert.
something.
Yeah,
But I
like
think,
library in the desert avatar style,
mhm,
and it just brought your tile up. Like considering it's a 10th rank spell and it feels oddly specific, like I would allow that.
yeah.
Like,
But
if like if
I absolutely, I think I would allow that. Absolutely, I don't think it's worded rules is written. I don't think it does allow that.
yeah, no, I don't think it does.
Mhm.
But like if you discuss that's how you would like it to work and that was the only way it ever worked going forward, I would like think that would be fair since it's
Yeah.
very nondescript.
Right.
Like it's a spiral staircase and you end up on top of it.
Uh huh.
I think that would be cool.
And
Now
I
you're at the
think
top of a tower guarded by a dragon
they could
for a 10th rank spell.
they could get rid of so many of my problems with it if it said up to 50 rank, up to 50 feet, and you could just kind
Mm,
of put it inside because I think that'd be fun too.
yeah, I have a 10-foot wall around me guarded by a dragon.
You're right. Like I think that's really
You
cool,
know,
but no.
but yeah, that's not how it's written. So it's like creativity. It just leaves you no room for like as it's written.
Yeah, no.
As it's written, it doesn't leave much room for creativity or
Hmm.
interesting application other than like finding the situation that the spell works.
Right.
I feel like you have to be creative
Hmm.
to find a situation where this is the magical solution
Right. Other
to
than
all of
just
your
kind of like
problems.
blasting out damage, because I mean you're going to be
Yeah.
blasting damage every round regardless.
Hmm.
Well, maybe if you're a blaster
Yeah.
caster, but
Yeah. When I'm thinking about creativity as far as like a positive thing and
mhm.
like as far as these spells go, I think it's like being able to creatively
Right.
apply them. And I feel like you're required to be really creative to use this spell, which is almost a negative creativity.
Right.
Um,
All right. So you got
God,
a final
what
ranking?
number? Oh God, I got to think. Because I like and hate a lot about it.
Right. I really think it's cool. There are some glaring issues that I have with it.
Okay, I got my number.
Okay. Three,
Three,
two,
two,
one,
one,
7.
7.
Okay. Earth and sky. Launch yourself into the air and then launch everything in 20 feet, also up in the air, and then let it fall back to the ground.
And that is up to 100 feet.
Right. So you can use it inside, except it's just at a much less effect.
Hmm. So, again, not super relevant, but the first thing that comes to my mind for this
Hmm.
is Uravity from My Hero Academia. But not her
Uh huh.
whenever the blood girl who can steal abilities,
Right. Uh,
whenever she gets it
Togita.
in Togita,
Hmm.
I think. Forgive our pronunciation if that's wrong. Um, but whenever she gets it, runs around, slaps everyone, sends them up into the air, and then falls to their death.
Right.
That's exactly what this is.
Hmm.
Which is kind of fun that that's such a one-to-one for like
Right.
a character.
Yeah. Uh,
Um,
it's cool. It's very much like a way of doing damage that is unique, I think. Um, I don't know. It's weird for me. One, it is less effective inside again, so you can't use it in all situations, right? Like, I can launch myself up to 10 feet, but essentially that's launching everybody up 10 feet, and then they fall 5 feet, or take fall for 5 damage. Like, that's not gonna do anything. Now, that does knock them prone. If you take fall damage, you do fall prone. Um,
mhm.
just now, it says they fall. If you do this on someone that has cat fall and just doesn't take fall damage, it doesn't do anything to them.
Yeah.
I don't like that. That's like a level 2 skill feat.
But wait, so if a creature has catfall, does that mean they can't, or that is them arresting the fall, or it would
No, arrest
unable
the
to
fall is its
arrest
own
the,
action.
but so it has nothing to do with any other ability that would prevent fall
Right.
damage.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now, I would admittedly, you have to have cat fall and then be legendary in acrobatics to not take fall damage. It just
yeah.
would lower the fall damage that you take.
Hmm.
Um,
Originally, I really like thought this could be like a versatile spell, but
Mm,
considering this all happens immediately
right.
and that it's not like you can fly up and then
Hmm.
do something and then they fall down,
Right.
like the fact that they fly up and they fall down and there's not like any play in there.
Right.
Like I wish that it was they fly up and would fall at the beginning of their next action,
Right. Yeah.
at the beginning of their turn.
I
I
wish there
feel
was
like
something because like right now, like the fact that you fly up, you end right back where you started. So the fact that you fly up is meaningless.
yeah, that's where it loses me is that
I was very confident with this spell and being like, yeah, it's really, really cool. And then I started talking about it, and I'm like, there's a lot of ways that you can. There's a lot of pretty simple ways for you to get around this. Because one, the cat fall, but two, you can grab an edge. Three, if you're just inside, it doesn't work to begin with.
or in a tunnel or
Mm,
underground or
yeah. Like if you have anything that
um,
resists you being forcibly moved, that applies to this.
also, I hate that it says flying directly upwards. If it did not
Mm,
say the line directly upwards,
mm,
you could do so much more with it. You could fly in any direction,
mm.
dragging everything with you in that
Right.
direction,
Well,
which
when
could be so fun. You could take things off of cliffs.
right. Well, when I first read the spell, I missed the line where it said you have to be on solid ground to begin with, and I'm like, if you're fighting a bunch of flying things like an aerial battle, you can already be 400 feet in the air and then fly 100 feet up, and you fall 500 feet,
Yeah.
and then that would be what 250 damage.
Hmm.
But of course, at that point, everything would have flying, as they could arrest their fall if they succeed. I do like. Let me talk about like the benefits of this. A success is still 50 damage. Um,
But so how does that compare? Like again, I'm not super versed in every spell that exists and how on average they do
mhm.
effectiveness wise. A two action rank six spell, you're essentially doing 50 damage to everything within 20 feet.
Right, but 50 damage
Like
on a
on average, that's just what's happened.
success. Yeah, so like the typical, if this, because this, mm, I don't know, because on average, like if a spell just does damage, it's about 2d6 per rank. So that'd be 12d6. Um,
Um,
Most spells do about, if they're just doing damage, which a success would do, it would be 2d6 per level. And then if we're assuming they succeeded that, that'd be half that. So a d6 per level.
mhm. So it's doing better than on average damage, but with something that's kind of hard to like. It's
There's a
kind of like
lot of ways to
easy
go.
to mitigate.
There's a lot of ways to get around it, but it's doing better damage than usual. And
Mhm.
like if they fail, or even if they succeed and still take the fall damage, they're still falling prone, which
So
can,
would you say it's effective for what it's doing?
yeah, I think so.
It's a very effective spell on average for the spell rank.
Right,
As
absolutely.
far as versatility of like how often you could use this, it wouldn't be it's not super hard to be able
No,
to use.
I think you would come up against like the thing where this would be the most useful spell several times in a campaign.
Yeah, like it well, I mean it but again, all it's doing is damage.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of extra fluff
Mm,
for damage. There's no other interesting effects other well, I guess knocking prone.
yeah.
So you're doing a lot of damage or you're doing a lot of fluff for damage and knocking everything prone, which
Mm,
is very effective. They're losing actions,
right.
they're on the ground, they're easier to hit. So it's accomplishing a good bit for what it does. So I mean,
Mm,
I feel like I kind of want to like trash on it a little bit, but it's like
right.
it's very effective and
Mm,
versatility. It's upper versatility. It's not even mid. It's
mm,
pretty okay versatility.
yeah.
Because question, everything would get knocked prone even if you went 5 feet up, right?
Yeah, as long as it takes fall damage.
Yeah. So what is is there a minimum height to take fall damage, or if you fall a foot, are you taking a foot of fall
I
damage?
think it's 10 feet.
10 feet minimum.
Hmm.
Okay. So as long as you are in 10 feet, if nothing else, knocking every creature within 20 feet prone,
Right.
that's not bad.
That's not nothing.
That's not nothing for
Hmm.
one spell. Like, because you could fit a lot of creatures in there. Like, let's say you have like 8 creatures around you. Somehow, all of them knocked prone for a spell. That's a spell in itself.
Hmm. That
The
actually,
damage is kind of on like on top.
yeah, the, yeah, but what? Does it affect allies?
Launching nearby creatures.
Yeah.
Question: what happens? Would you say objects come up with you? If there's objects,
Um.
it says nearby creatures, but if you're in a room of books, like
Yeah.
you're in say a library that has the roof blown off,
Yeah. I
is
mean, I say that at
the
that point.
library destroyed in this process? Because I'd say it was, even
Yeah.
though it says only
Absolutely.
nearby creatures.
Right.
I feel like the verbing on these, like I feel like they're a little too like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's like sometimes I feel like there's not enough description, and I feel like there's a little too many words
Mm.
that limit the ability of these spells.
Right.
Like just says nearby creatures. There's
Mm.
no reason objects shouldn't come with you.
Right.
There's like directly upwards. There's no reason if you had like if you could put your feet on a wall and
Right.
push off
Mm-hmm.
forward in the
Oh, that
same
would
way
be
you
like
would
a cool thing if you
down.
could just like put it off of any surface that you were adjacent to.
Yeah, because it says directly upwards.
Right.
Because if you could do the same thing but send things in a direction,
Mm-hmm.
infinite more creativity potential.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I think if you made this third rank and let's say you fly up 20 feet, and then as you heighten, you can fly up higher and higher, right?
I would like the heighten to take away some of these words, like directly upward. Like if it heightened to any direction. Like if it
Every
started
level
off,
you heighten it, you can take away a single word from the description.
I would love that. That should be how heightening works. Remove one word from the spell description.
No, I think I like the spell. I think it's cool. I think it's flavorful. If you could do it at lower levels and then like it be better by the time it's rank 6, I think it'd be better.
Yeah.
Well, clearly it'd be
I
better, but I
think
think it would impress
mhm.
me more.
Yeah, I think rules as written, the way it's set out, creativity, extremely limited.
Oh yeah.
Because the spell happens, it's over at the end of the spell.
Might as well just be a
It
fireball.
it might as well be a fireball that knocks you prone.
Right.
Like that's what I kept saying. It's like it's a lot of fluff to do some
Mm-hmm.
damage and knock things prone.
And
So it doesn't
also
leave
a 20-foot emanation that also gets allies. That's going to be hard to get off
that
and not
does hurt
affect.
versatility. That actually hurts versatility a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like it's I started out so in love with this spell, and the more I talked about it, the more I was just like,
The more it comes really down for me.
yeah.
Um, cool factor. Again, it feels like it's not that cool because it's just damage knock thing prone.
I think it's cool, it's flavorful, but yeah, no.
Yeah, it's cool and flavorful, but it's like at the end of the day, I don't feel like it's actually
Mm-hmm.
again creativity. The exact wording of it
Mm-hmm.
limits so much creativity.
Right.
Take away direction. Let it affect objects.
Right.
You know, like you could do a lot more with it. You could
Mm-hmm.
destroy things. You could mess up the room. You could create difficult terrain if it threw objects around.
Right.
You know,
And that
like there should totally be a line in here that says like if there are if there are objects in the room, like they also get brought up and brought down and
right.
create difficult terrain.
I
Like
agree.
there's so much more that could have been done if the wording wasn't so limiting
Mm-hmm.
that I feel it leaves an extremely low creative aspect score for me.
Right. Agreed.
I think I got my number.
Okay. Three,
You
two,
have
one.
yours?
Yeah. Three,
Three, two,
two,
one,
one. 6.
5.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah. I understand where you're going with 6 because it is effective.
Right. It does what
It's
it sets out to
never
do.
not going to be useful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's just no creativity.
All right. So this is our first rare spell and the only rare spell that we're going to cover in this video. Horde of Underlings. You summon 6 little minions in a 30-foot cone that go after your opponents and attack them for 1d4 damage.
Very important.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to be entirely honest. This is probably one of my new favorite spells in the game.
Importantly, it says you choose what kind of creatures they
Uh-huh.
are. If they're small or medium, and like what kind of damage they deal.
Mm-hmm.
They're not strong. They have one hit point, automatically fail everything,
Fireball's gonna wipe them out.
and
I don't know why it's a 30-foot cone. I would think an emanation would be better for this spell. Um, but that's weird. But not a point against it. I don't think.
okay. My very first question
Mm-hmm.
is, do they have to attack?
Do they have
Based
to
like,
attack?
do they have to attack? Like, can I cast this
Uh
in the
huh.
middle of a crowded bar and just summon like six of whatever creature I want to just run around causing a ruckus?
Like if you're not using it in combat.
Yeah. Because
So
it says sustain for up to 1 minute. So can I just cast this at any point,
mhm.
summon six underlings, and like just running around making a ruckus?
Attack one enemy adjacent to it. Yeah. So if there's no enemies, you're good.
So, but I'm allowed to summon them even if there's
Yeah.
not an enemy,
Right. Yeah.
and they just like frantically be looking for an enemy that isn't there.
Yeah. I would imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like mechanics against that kind of thing, but I don't know why there would be.
Well, really, like an enemy, and a creature is your enemy when you consider it your enemy.
No, I just want to make sure that I can use it just to be annoying and summon it as like a distraction without actively attacking people because it just jumps straight into the underlings attack the
Mm,
nearest enemy, and if not, move to the nearest enemy and attack it.
right. Well, there's a
Like,
lot of other spells in the game that already exist that do non-combat applications. Like there's Phantasmal
mhm,
Crowd and stuff like that that just summons a bunch of
mhm.
guys.
But this says I can. So my favorite line
Mm-hmm.
is, "You decide what kind of creatures they are."
Yeah.
I want to know how far that could be stretched because that's a very open-ended sentence,
Uh-huh.
and I love open-ended sentences. If I choose a medium creature and I choose that creature to be an exact carbon copy of myself, can I do that?
I don't
It
see a reason you couldn't.
uh,
So,
and you decide what kind of creature they
are
are.
you trying to say that like you can make exact copies of yourself and the enemy won't know who to attack?
Maybe. Or I
Well,
can make another carbon copy of my entire party. It doesn't say they have to be it doesn't say like they all have to be the same creature.
right. Yeah, so I mean here's how I would roll it. Like I mean very much like you could make your entire party. You wouldn't have their magical swords or anything. And if they did attack, um clearly that would
Anyone would.
like you would know. Like you it would not be able to just fool anybody for any long amount of time, right?
Mhm.
But I would absolutely rule that like if before combat started you cast this and they don't know which one's the one, they might go after the wrong guys.
Yeah. Okay, even against that, it does say creature,
Yeah.
as in that is the descriptor. The only descriptor you get is what the creature is.
Right.
Like maybe if you're hard ruling like what it says and like not letting it be that loose.
Right.
What if
Like
I were to pick a creature that there's only one of?
uh-huh.
Like I pick like deity. It's not gonna. There's not like an arbitrary
Right.
amorphous deity.
Right. No, yeah. Like
You
I would
know, like
absolutely allow it to be a shadow clone jutsu.
yeah.
I think that's kind of the intended purpose. But
I'm imagining the bunch of Monkey D. Luffy's when the monkeys were disguised as Luffy and
absolutely.
ran about, and you just couldn't really tell which
Right,
one was
right. Well,
Luffy.
once you like engaged with one, you would know.
Yeah, that it was
Um,
obviously not the super sentient creature.
right. But like I like there are six of them. They kind of like they can clog up tight spaces. So they're
Mhm.
difficult terrain. You can move through them, but they're difficult terrain, which will slow things down. Like if it's a hallway or something. Um, they attack dealing 1d4 damage. That's guaranteed damage, which
Mhm.
is only limited by how many of them you can get adjacent to a guy at once. So like your
Mhm.
big boss dragon stuff can just be swarmed by little guys that each do a d4 of damage. That's so good. It's magic missile, but they stick around.
So forget effectiveness. It says I can choose the kind of creature, and if they're like we're agreeing that if there's not an enemy, they just kind of meander about.
Yeah.
I could at any point summon six cats, and just be surrounded
Yes.
by cats.
Yeah. No, I
I'm
mean,
okay with that. I'd enjoy that spell. Like if I was bored on my day off, I'd just be like, "Come, my underlings," and it'd just be six medium puppies,
yeah. I mean, I
massive
too refer to
puppies.
my pet as my underlings.
Yep. hmm I wish that it would. I wish it would have clarified that we could give them other basic commands
Yeah.
other than attack. Like I wish they would go into a little bit. I wish it gave them some kind of other
Hmm.
ability to do something other than just attack. But I get they're supposed to be like super basic
Yeah.
kobold skeletons,
Right.
little monsters.
Well, I
But the
think
fact that it doesn't specify,
this is Paizo's attempt to do something what people have been asking for a while, and I have been very adamantly against, is giving us like the summoner playstyle where we flood the board with lots of little guys, right? Because I
yeah,
had that experience first edition and I did not like it. But these guys I really, really like because it's not. They're not each doing their own thing, right? You spend
yeah,
one action, they each go to the nearest guy and they attack, right? It's not going
hmm
to lower the battlefield that much, right? Or not lower the
hmm
battlefield. It's not going to take too much time at the table.
hmm
And it's such a good spell. Like
hmm
I love that one. It's bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing. You get to decide. Two, guaranteed damage is always good, but magic
hmm
missile kind of goes away at the end, and these guys stick around for it. But with them
hmm
each doing their own source of damage, that means they can each apply weaknesses. So if you do Seal
hmm
Fate to give, a creature weakness 3 to slashing damage, and then all 6 creatures damage it, that's 18 more damage that you've just added, right?
hmm No, I agree.
It,
Um,
it's so good. I love
yeah,
it.
I still could care less about the damage, just how open-ended it is.
Uh huh.
Because let's say you're trying to like steal an animal or like the magic cat or whatever
Mm-hmm.
reason,
Right.
you're trying to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just can summon six underlings that are the same creature type you're trying to steal, and for a minute there's like six pigs running around, like but you have the one you were trying to steal,
Uh
and
huh.
they have no idea which one or um
And one thing that I like about it too, as if I've not only been saying things that I like about it, is when you heighten it. Normally, what I would imagine is that it does more damage, but they didn't go that route. They just summoned more minions.
mhm.
So it is a rank 3 spell, but by the time you get up to rank 10, you can fill this with your 10th rank spell slot and be doing, what is it, 2 more per level? So 14, 20 minions, 20 guys just going around doing whatever.
Mhm.
And I love it. I love it. It's so good. I love it.
Okay, we have to find something negative to say.
Uh, Chain Lightning kills them all immediately.
Kicking kills them all.
Yeah.
Any AoE kills them all.
Yeah. I mean, it's not
But
a
on
perfect
these,
spell.
it's
Like it.
only rank three.
Mm-hmm. Like it.
I
Yeah.
will pick this on my next character.
It very clearly has weaknesses, right? Um, but like very much like assuming that it's not chain lightning that just bounces to everything within 30 feet. Anything they're
Mhm.
using to um, damage these minions is probably things they're not using to damage you.
Yeah,
And
because I mean, you usually know if the bad guy you're going up against has AoE,
right, yeah.
and like, everyone knows basic like things that are weak to AoE.
Hmm.
So if you have this spell, you just need to be mindful of like, okay, if I am going up against something that has a lot of AoEs, this may not be the spell, but it's still not even a guarantee. There's still a time and a place for it in any situation.
Right.
Like as far as I love trying to like twist things to be functional, there's never a situation where I couldn't have annoying fun with this.
Right.
Like I could use this to be annoying no matter the scenario.
Right. And I love that it can be used to be annoying and be used to be effective. And
Yeah.
or I guess I
Well, I
should
have
say
mine.
have fun with, not be annoying because
I want to be annoying with
well then I have to pay those consequences.
it. Fair warning. I will have the spell. Okay, I have my number.
Yeah, me too.
3, 2, 1.
10.
And
It's great. I love it.
yeah. I can't think of much negative to say. I love open-ended sentences such as
And our final spell, Orb of Twisting Fate. Um, the glass of an omen dragon erupts from your target's forehead, overwhelming their mind with alternate options. I don't know what that means.
I'm going to just assume that there is a overstimulating VR headset dropped on their face.
Essentially, on this one, the creatures have to give up a certain number of actions to either do nothing or stride in a random direction. Um, I like it. Like I don't know. I don't really understand the flavor they're going for. I'm assuming if I had read the Omen Dragon stat block, I would know a little bit more about it. Um,
Mhm.
it's good. It's especially when you're fighting boss monsters. I mean, you will usually have more action economy than the enemy, right? So if you can get rid of one of the enemy's actions, that's really good, right?
Yeah.
And in this
Well,
case,
especially
they
if you're.
do
Oh,
what?
sorry, good. I was gonna say if the spellcaster that has three action spells,
Hmm.
they're screwed.
Yeah,
But go
uh,
ahead.
yeah. I mean, just very much that. I was going to say something along the similar lines. It's very much, and this they don't really have to waste their action doing nothing. They can take the chance to stride in a random direction, which might be actively more detrimental.
Hmm.
Um, it's random. I think usually effects that let the enemy choose how they're going to react or what their consequence is are not very good because they can just choose to take the least consequential thing. I don't know that there's a right answer necessarily here. Um, because striding in a random direction is just like it feels like it's almost always bad, right? Like so, like even if they're doing nothing, they're essentially slowed. If
Hmm.
they stride in a random direction, I guess that has the possibility of doing something good for them.
Yeah, because again, this feels so different depending on what you're fighting.
Uh huh.
If you are fighting a ranged character or a melee character, a ranged character is almost always going to, if they're out of range of getting smacked in the face, they're just going to waste that first action.
Right.
They're just going to not do anything and they're going to use their other two actions to target you from range.
Uh huh.
If they are a ranged character and there's something punching them in the face, they're going to choose to stride in a random direction because
Right.
anywhere is better than getting punched in the face.
Hmm.
And then use those other two actions to continue attacking you from a distance.
Right.
If you're a melee character, you're going to use that first action to stride at random if you're outside of range.
Right.
There's a chance it gets you closer to where you need to be,
Hmm.
and nothing happens negative if you end up closer to what you want to hit because you still have your other actions to do whatever you want with.
Right.
If they critically fail, they have the most likely regardless lose one action
Hmm.
10 times, one spell to make the bad guy lose 10 actions.
Yeah.
That's economy.
Right.
That is math I'm okay with.
Hmm. It's seventh rank, but
Especially
that feels powerful for seventh rank.
oh, that's very powerful, especially if you're fighting super high-end magic
Hmm.
that has three action spells.
Right.
Because
They
because
can't
if
summon
they
their tower dragon.
yeah, they can't summon their tower, but they can't summon their tower dragon for 10 rounds.
Hmm.
If they don't have some like BS extra action crap,
Right.
like like if you're fighting standard monsters that have three actions and they have a three action spell and they critically fail this, that is 10 rounds that they cannot cast their three action spells. Because even if they get the perfect movement that gets them where they'd want to be, they
Hmm.
ain't using a three action thing. Even if you're fighting a melee character who has a super powerful high end like three action move,
Hmm.
they ain't using it for 10 rounds possibly.
Right.
That's the fight.
I like this is the epitome of a saver suck spell in first edition, except even if they succeed, you're still doing amazing, right? Like
Mhm.
the problem is like this is on a success, you've taken away a sizable chunk of their action economy. On a failure or a critical failure, you might have just won the game with the spell or won the combat. Like it is
Yeah.
so much.
Hmm.
The only detriment that I can see here is that it's only a 15-foot range, so you have to be close.
Hmm. But for
Um,
how, but for the effect that you're getting,
right, you being
worth
close
it.
might not matter if they stride in a random direction.
Yeah. Or if they're a spellcaster, which is again who I feel this would be most effective against,
Mm-hmm.
you want to be close to them probably.
Right.
You know, they can't fireball you if you stand next to them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, effectiveness, action economy, versatility. Like there is never a time where burning 10 actions theoretically, there's never a situation where that wouldn't help.
Yeah.
I don't care who you're fighting, what the situation, like burning their actions for that long potentially,
Mm-hmm.
use every day, prepare every day, have it in every spell slot. Like it's not going to hurt.
Yeah. It doesn't
Um,
heighten. I don't know what you would do to heighten it, but
it
things
doesn't
that
need
don't
to.
heighten are actually better in my opinion once you're higher rank. Because once again, you're a higher rank. If you see a situation where this would not come up, it's your seventh rank spell slots. You have eighth, ninth, and 10th rank spell slots to do other things, right?
Hmm.
It
I will say the only negative is like there's not really creative application. It does what it says it does.
Yeah,
It
no,
burns their actions.
yeah.
There's not like it's never going to be a clever solution.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
It's
mean,
going.
I guess it is. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, it's never going to be the clever solution. It's going to be. I could very easily see this being the thing where, like, you open every combat with that, and that can kind of start to drag the spell down.
Yeah.
Good
I'll
results,
say.
but mind you, but
Mm.
that can kind of wear down on how good a spell feels.
Question: when it says strides, does that mean up until their full movement speed, or can they choose to stop that at any distance? Like, let's say I have 100-foot movement speed. If I have to stride with that first action, can I be like, oh, I don't want to go in that direction and only move 5 feet, or do I have to finish the 100 feet if I
Um,
happen to have movement speed?
First action is trying to. I don't know. All right, so we looked it up, and it turns out you only make a stride action, which signifies that you move up to your speed, and technically you can stride up to 0 feet, which would technically be the same as not doing anything.
But you
So
can roll the dice on having a beneficial movement,
yeah,
but as directly written, there's never going to be a forced movement in a direction you don't want to go.
yeah,
Whereas if I was like running it, I would prefer to take it as they have to move up to their full movement, like move to their full movement speed, because that's just more interesting. That's
yeah.
more fun.
Depending on how in the weeds I would be willing to get in gameplay, I would either say you have to decide how far you're going to move before you stride or before you roll for direction, or you have to go up the full direction
I
for the
just
full
leave it as
speed.
simple as full speed,
I think
because
rules as
it's
written though, you can just stride 0 feet and it doesn't matter,
yeah.
which would would be very detrimental to the spell because essentially that turns the random direction into it can only be a good thing.
Yeah, it
Um,
would only ever help you or you
now,
lose the
now,
action.
which still doesn't hurt it that much because you still couldn't use that action to cast spells. You still couldn't use that action to do 2 action or 3 action activities. Like it's still really good. It just I don't. I have looked it up a little bit and I just don't see a viable because striding 0 feet seems like cheese, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
um,
it feels like an actually I don't have to walk off that cliff because it says up to my movement speed.
right. Like it
You know.
very finicky there. The spell is still good regardless.
Yeah. Let
Um,
us know what you think in the comments. Like how would you rule it, or do you think we're misreading it there, or like what's your thoughts on it?
yeah, because I really don't know how that is supposed to work. But that oh well, we gotta rank it,
Yeah.
which that's really hard to rank with that little rules ambiguity there. Um, you got something?
Um okay, I'm ready.
Okay,
3, 2, 1, 9.
9. Okay, this is great. Like
We're
I,
supposed to be the logic versus fun.
yeah, yeah. The thing is, if the spell, like if you have to move your full stride, then it's a 10 for me. I
Mhm.
with that bit of rules ambiguity, I don't know. A 9, maybe 8 actually. Now, like it's
The amount of actions they lose though is
oh yeah, that's fair.
powerful.
But they have to lose those actions
It's
on a critical failure, right? So, like to me, this is most useful against a boss monster.
well, it
And
says on a failure, it's until they succeed the throw, so
right, yeah, yeah. But like
they still could get off multiple times.
you're mostly going to be want to be doing this on something higher level than you, I think.
Yeah,
And in which case they are much more likely to if they do luckily fail, they're much more likely to just succeed the next round anyways. So you might get
yeah.
one or two actions.
Hmm.
The
But
10 actions is kind of your golden goose, right?
the potential is so there.
Yeah.
The only reason it's a 9 for me, and like to be honest, if it was confirmed that it's forced movement the entire speed, it'd
Right.
be a 9.5.
Hmm.
And that's just because of how effective it is. Again, I don't feel a lot of creativity other than if the forced movement speed could be used to make them walk off a cliff.
Right.
Because that's just kind of fun and a roll of the dice. Like you could
Yeah.
solve a problem by even if like the action economy pain isn't what solves the problem, the forced movement could solve a problem, and that's a fun creative solution in my head.
Uh huh.
But there's not a lot of like creativity to this spell. It's just the pure amount of effectiveness and forever usefulness that overpowers the lack of creativity.
Uh huh.
Um, but nothing's ever going to get a 10 from me without having that creative factor.
Right. Okay.
But it's
Well,
crazy that this one got that without creativity.
and that's all of the spells of the Draconic Codex. It there were definitely some hits and some misses. Uh,
Mhm.
for every
I
horde of
think we should put
underlings.
up the tier list, like filled out.
Do what?
We should put up the tier list, like.
Oh, it's right there. See it? Right there.
Oh, was that there the whole time?
Yeah. Probably. I don't
Oh,
know. Maybe.
we'll see.
Depends on how hard this is to edit. But if you like this and want to see more, just let us know. Leaving it in the comments, subscribing to the channel, that kind of stuff. It's a long one. I'm looking at my recording time now, and this is gonna be a long one. Hopefully this
I
will be out by
ramble.
Sunday. um, but that's all we have for you this time. Until next time, keep rolling high, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.